Yep. So, a win is a win. I would be lying if I sat up here and said I was happy, though. We have to figure some things out offensively. You know what I mean? That is, for 2 years, that's kind of been our strength, ball movement, different things. And we got to figure some things out in that area. 22 turnovers, that's too many. To me at least, defensively we're good enough. I think we're good enough defensively. I think we do a lot of good things defensively. But, usually, you don't have this, but it's in reverse. Our offense puts stress on our defense because now you feel like you got to get a stop every possession. And, it makes games harder. But, again, big picture, I was saying before the season, well, I didn't say it before the season started. I kind of knew before the season started that it might look like this, And I knew that there was things that we were going to have to work on, and I knew our team had shifted, from the standpoint of, we got to me really good bigs. So, I just knew certain things were going to be what they were. And so the one thing I give my team credit for that, though, and saying everything that I said, what we do need to get better at, is that, and I believe this, and again, I love every kid I coach, but our team last year couldn't win these type of games. Let's just call it what it is. I think that there is a collective toughness in the room. We have a caring group. They don't go out there intentionally try to make mistakes. Me and my staff just got to do a better job of getting them to understand the assignment each and every game, and that's the I won't say the struggle, I won't say the fight, but that's going to be the execution of it as we move forward. And so each and every day we got to fight for the right thing, and no matter if the things I say are redundant to the kids, you're going to hear it each and every day. Attention to detail, because those are the things that hurt us. We got to be more disciplined on offense. We got to understand the assignment. There's rarely times where you have, bigs on your team like that, that you can play off of and get easy shots and different things. But then as a perimeter, you got to find a balance in who you are as a player, and you got to go play the game. Because when you're able to do those things together, now when you come off a ball screen because the big doesn't want to help because he doesn't want the ball to go to his man, you just walk into the layup and walking in and getting a layup. You get what I call horse shots. We had a lot of horse shots out there today. We didn't knock them down today, but, we had horse shots. These are things that my guys got to be all right with based on who we are as a team. And that is the biggest thing that we have to do is incorporating that. It's inside out instead of outside in.
Kelly?
I imagine that there's probably a moment in your brain when you saw Muhammad square up for that three in the corner. What goes through your mind when you see him take that shot and then to see it go in, too? I imagine that it'd feel good after kind of a rough day offensively for you guys. Yeah,
at that juncture of the game, I mean, he wasn't no different than anyone else shooting a three. We had struggled, but what I will say is that what I give him all the credit in the world for is he ain't hesitate one bit when he caught it. He works on it. Did I want him to shoot it? Hell no, I didn't want him to shoot the shot. But it went in. But he works on it. He does. One of the things that I was happy about him today is the game started off rough for him. But the one thing that I always appreciate about a player of his caliber is when you look at that rebound total, he going to go get his 10, 11 a game. And so, to hit probably the biggest shot of the game and then to always get those 10, 11 rebounds a game, is much needed. And then he did a lot of switching on the perimeter. He can switch ball screens. He did a good job in that area as well.
It seems like in the beginning of the game, the two bigs down low were trying to do something with the ball before they got possession of the ball. Do you see that in practice? I mean, do they try to play ahead of what's actually happening?
Well, what happens is a lot of times I think, in those situations when you got, again, bigs like that and they know doubles are coming, they're trying to beat the double. They're trying to see. Then you just got to accept what it's going to be. And I think, again, that goes into when we become the team I think we can be. You have to accept, there's I can think of, for instance, we talked about, they double off the passer. But Bai was trying to, instead of just throwing it back to the passer, he was trying to get somebody to move on the weak side. Well, no, they wasn't moving. This is what they do every game. It's what they do, right? Mo, he tries to beat guys' baseline, So, there's different things, and we just got to get guys to slow down, just slow down and see what's happening. And then, we got to do a better job of when we get rebounds, not bringing the ball down.
Can any of it kind of be attributed to or traced back to, at this moment anyway, sort of a lack of an experienced one guard, so to speak? Is that some of what you're trying to work through?
For sure. No, for sure. I always say it because, I played the position and, I think that most people, they think playing point guard is easy. I say it's the hardest position in basketball because it's the organization of things, right? You have to put people in place. You have to know the play from 5 positions. You have to take the heat from the coach. Different things. There's a process with it. It's almost like, you have the starting point guard and you had a quarterback. And I think those are in team sports, those are the 2 hardest positions to man, in my opinion, because of the things that you have to do. And I always say, it's, we got to get a little better, I think, at learning the assignment. And, it's since we rolling right now and we doing our thing, I'll use this analogy, it's okay to just check down and throw that pass. Taylor do that like this, check down, throw that pass, right? Then things start to open up. You get a couple singles, get a couple doubles, and then the triples and the home run come, right? And I think that's what our guys are trying to figure out, but we will. But again, it's not easy. It's not easy playing that position.
Do you feel like maybe guys were trying to force it a little bit at times, like make one too many pass, especially in some of the dribble drives? It seems like they were trying to lob it where it may have been better just shoot the ball and see if you get the O rebound if it goes in and out versus trying to force a lob. Or there were a couple of live ball turnovers.
Say that one more time.
Guys, near the rim, driving to the basket, pulling, trying to pass the ball instead of taking a shot. And they had some good looks.
It was a lot of that. Kawasi had a couple, and I think that, he lost his way a little bit in the game, and I thought, he never was able to bounce back from that, I should say. He was never able to, get the flow back, and that's something that he has to be better at. He's been in these situations, and he has to understand that, we need you on the floor. We need your experience, and you can't have, even if you don't make the play, you still can't, lose faith in yourself because we haven't lost faith in you.
I think Akai played close to 30 minutes tonight with Washington getting in foul trouble, and Is that something that you saw coming? That he could, step up and play those kind of minutes and contribute.
Yeah, he's been playing well. He has. He's played well. I thought I should have played him a little more against Georgia, but I didn't. I never planned to play a guy a lot of minutes, but to me, he's seasoned enough. He made some mistakes, but I think he'll learn from that, and it's just a matter of as he gets more minutes and the process is sped up a little bit. I think that just makes him more comfortable as he moves forward.
Anything else? One more? No.
Do you sense Cam being a little frustrated?
Yeah, I think Cam is going to be fine. I think that, I just got to help him a little bit more. And that's on me. Got to help him a little more. Got to help him a little bit more. It's kind of, a lot of things, as a former basketball player, there are a lot of things. It's just, you look at Cam's minutes, and it's more than his minutes, his shot, things of that nature, and it's not really about that, to be honest with you. But there's just things we gotta clean up, on the offensive end that'll help him out. Even with him playing, the minutes he played is not an indictment on him. I got to do a better job of helping him out.
All right. One last one here with Rob.
Are you getting to the point in the season where you have a better idea of what you want your rotation to be, or is that still a work in progress?
I'm not really for sure, to be honest with you. I mean, I know the guys I want to play, but there's certain things that, I got to get comfortable with, and I'm just not all the way comfortable with those things at this point. So it's still a revolving door. It's still room there for somebody to crack into that rotation or whatnot. But, we just, again, 22 turnovers. That's bothersome. That's bothersome. It's you can't win basketball games in the ACC or even against our opponents right now, Georgia Southern, West Georgia coming up. We can't win games with 22 turnovers, and that number has to go down. So.
All right. Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.